Hello, everyone. I must start by saying I'm Emmeli Olen, and usually I talk about training to different corporate audiences, and I'm really honored and humbled to be here in this setting with this huge amount of learning expertise in this room and at this conference. So thank you very much for having me, and hopefully you can learn something from me as well. So I work for a company called Valmet. We basically build a lot of industrial factories and sites across the world, mostly in the pulp, paper, and energy industry. And I'm heading an organization inside Valmet called Valmet Learning Services, and we develop and deliver training to our customers to make sure they know how to run the equipment and to maintain it in the right way to get the most out of the things that we deliver to them. And I work with a team of engineers, interaction designers, teachers, and there's a lot of variety of expertise in this team. And myself, I'm an engineer, and I've been working in this industry for about 20 years in different roles related to training and software development. And it appears from this picture that I'm also always wearing the same clothes. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have been to a place like this, or to a place like this. And some of you may have been to a place like this, but these are our customers. And in these places, people come to work every day in an environment which contains high pressure, high temperatures, poisonous gases, corrosive liquids. And they all deserve to come home safe and sound without putting themselves, their colleagues, or the environment at risk. And in today's society, these people are also under a lot of pressure to produce more in a shorter time at a lower cost. So it's easy to say that training is the last thing that's on their mind when they come to work. But I'd like to give you an example of how this works in reality. So this is a place in Eastern Europe, and close to this very field is a plant. And the plant, a couple of years ago, bought a training program from us. It was an e-learning course, and they liked it very much. They used it for a while for the operators, and then it was time to renew the subscription. And they weren't really willing to do it because they figured they didn't have time to train, they didn't have a responsible person, and they weren't just motivated. And it turned out that this kind of the lack of clear management, clear objectives for the training, and also the lack of time to train, the lack of structure, it could cause them to really lose faith in competence development in general. So luckily they were willing to discuss with us and see if we could come up with a solution that could give them something else and something that could help them forward. So this is a program that we designed together with them. And it's not rocket science, but basically it's a 3-step certification program, and it has different audiences for the different levels. So it starts with the general training, which is available for everybody at the plant. Then it goes into operations for the operators, and then there is an advanced step for the more advanced operators. And this is kind of blended learning, so it's e-learning, it's mentoring, and there's different components in this. And there is also scenario training and simulations for the operational side. And basically, you can run the plant when you're at the second level. You should be able to run the plant safely. But there is so much more to gain if you have people who go to the third level, which is troubleshooting, optimization. That's when you can get really value and monetary value out of the plant by running it more efficiently, optimizing, and so on. So it allows them to get the most out of the equipment and the people who run it. And I just wanted to reference back to this lifelong learning concept and what the pro-rector said, that this is really what we're looking at here. We're trying to motivate and try to keep training people so that they have a reason to go to work and have something new to accomplish every day. So how did this turn out? Well, they were happy enough, so they bought the program, and it actually starts next month. So I'm afraid I can't really give you the outcome yet, but if you follow us on LinkedIn or check out our website, we're going to publish a story once this is, when we have something, proof of how this went. But this is an example of how we have to adapt to the circumstances at our customer sites and to reality, basically. But not every case is like this. In many cases, we present a sophisticated learning solution to the customer, and yet they like it, they try it out, and yet they come back and they say that they want us to send just the regular trainer that we sent the last time, the one they liked so much, just to send him there for a couple of weeks to train everybody, sit down, and they can talk. And it's okay, and we do it, but it's not environmentally sustainable, it's not resource sustainable to send people across the globe to do site trainings all the time. But still, we have to realize that this change comes in steps, and maybe not all customers are mature enough, or they don't have the management support, or they're just a bit afraid to try new things. And it's okay, and maybe the next time we present it, or the next after that, maybe they'll be ready to try it out. So this change comes step by step. So how can we secure that the customers get value out of what they invest in training? Well, this is our four-step process that we use to secure our operations and the training deliveries with our customers. And this is, probably you have seen many of these similar processes, but for us it's really important to have something to hang on to and something that we can go back to and verify the progress as we move on. And this is, of course, cyclical, so that we run through this process many, many times with the same customer. And it means that each step, because the steps it's the mapping of the competencies and skills, then defining the training program based on the business targets, delivering the training, and following it up, basically. And that iterates. And of course, these different steps can be smaller or larger, depending on the needs of the customer. So if we look closer at the third step, the training delivery or the execution of the training, then we have a variety of tools, technologies at our disposal. And it can be, a lot of it is still traditional classroom training, but it can also be different simulations, e-learning, scenario training, and we also have started using AR and VR tools to get more kind of immersive learning experiences. And these tools they could be modularized, they can be kind of standard tools, or they can be customized. But I guess the key lies in knowing when to use which tool, and not to put them all in there just for the sake of it, but knowing where they can help the customer forward in their learning process. And also the value of these tools. I mean, there's no value if they don't contribute to the actual goal, which takes us back to this picture. So for us, the key lies in finding the right goals in the kind of second step based on the competence mapping, and setting the targets and being able to design a program that works against those targets. And that's also how we justify the customers spending money on training, because we see that if we have two similar plants and we can see that they are run differently based on the skills and competence of the operators, there is a monetary difference at the bottom line for those companies. We can see that the performance, the reliability of the equipment goes up when people are properly trained. So basically, I guess what we see every day in our business is that knowledge can really make the big difference, also for corporations and businesses across the globe. And actually that's where Valmet Learning Services and my team are able to make a difference for our customers and help them driving their business forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmeli. I have a question or two for you, because you talked about that you could see it bottom line.
Yes.
These learning designs. How do you see that bottom line? Is it both skills and also economy, finances?
Yeah, of course. It's impossible to see whether it's only. With training, there's always a lot of factors that contribute to the success of a company, but we can see when we have similar plans and we know that the competence level is different, then we can see that it has a real impact. So there's definitely you can calculate. For a power plant, if it stops 3 times a year because they have handle it in the wrong way, there's a loss of hundreds of thousands of euros each month.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So there's a lot of money at stake.
I guess you have a lot of different participants with the corporations that you work with. How do you see the key to success in meeting those differentiated needs?
Well, I guess that to be able to make products that are worth the money for the customer, so it can't be too expensive. So we use a lot of modularized courses and pieces of training that we put together. And I think the key lies in using maybe generic or general content and then putting it together into a tailored program so that the end program is always designed based on that specific customer's needs and their skills level, even if we may use components that are reusable for other projects as well. So I guess we have to know our customers well.
To me, that sounds a little bit like school. And I'm curious, with all due respect, of course, what do you think school can learn from your approach?
Well, I guess that for us it lies in the process and having something to cling on to that you can adapt and improve and evaluate and try to be relevant for if we're not relevant for the customers, they won't buy our products and they won't buy our training offering. So I guess a little bit same could be applied to a school, that if the learning situation is not relevant for it has a toll on the students.
Yeah, so the student-centered approach.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much. Give Emmeli a hand. Thank you.